Bit of a different video today, as in today's video I'm going to be breaking down every single fighter that would be in the best champion possible for each weight class. So we're going to go from activity to entertainment to fight style. There are going to be some current champions, but if I had my way, we're going to shake up most of these divisions here, and we're going to get real activity back in the sport. We're going to get real entertainment back in the sport. We have two massive title fights at the weekend. I have the full card broken down on this channel. I did that yesterday. Video is doing very well, boys, so I appreciate all the love and support on the channel as always. But we're going to start with the flyweight division here, and we're going to go with my boy. Fucking hell, I got the hiccups. Manel Kape. Booked against Horiguchi. One of the most based, entertaining, funny, just all-around package that is Manel Kape. When he was like, fuck all you... It's in the front row. He was in the crowd and all that shit. He was going at, Kai Car France. He was going at literally everybody. Then he ran into Muhammad Mokaev in one of the worst fights ever. Now, thank God, Muhammad Mokaev was the one who got cut. But fuck me, Manel Kape was on tin fucking ice. After that fight, he was starting fights backstage. He was going at fucking everyone. He's going at people at press conferences and shit. He's going at the crowd as well. This dude don't give a fuck. That's why I love Manel Kape. And not only that, he knocked out Brandon Royval in devastating fashion, bro. Devastating fashion. Who does that? Who does that, man? People forget, man. Manel Kape's got hands. Manel Kape's one of the most entertaining strikers in the flyweight division. He's so good on the mic. He's just a funny fucking bastard. And this is exactly why I want to see Manel Kape as champion. Will it happen? Listen, I think Manel Kape's talented. I think Manel Kape can 100% be champ at some stage. If he gets through Horiguchi, which I think he will, I think Horiguchi's kind of like a... And now listen, Horiguchi's actually improved an awful lot since coming back into the UFC, which very rarely happens. Like, if he wins this fight, he's in a very good position, especially with the situation. I don't even care. Especially with the fact that there's Asian fighters at the weekend. We could see Horiguchi slide right on in there and make it a big thing. You know what I mean? Because this Joshua Van Tassar Turrets fight, it's a very big thing given the cultures, which is cool. I'm here for it. But Manel Kape wouldn't give a solitary fuck where you're from, what you do, or who you are. He's going at your camp. He's going at you. He's going at fucking everyone. I don't only want entertaining fighters. Although as much as I think the fact that you can entertain is class, you need to back it up against the cage. There are certain fighters, and there's one coming up, that I give it a pass for. I give a pass for, bro. I give a pass for. But I think Manel Kape could be champ. I think Manel Kape will be champ. Like, if you look at the flyweight division, actually, I think Manel Kape will get a strap at some point. If you look at the flyweight division, I think him versus Joshua Van is an interesting fight. I think he's going to get you Horiguchi. Him versus Lonnie Kavanagh might be a fight. I see my two prospects really colliding like fucking eagles out of the ashes and some shit like that. I'd love to see Manel Kape versus Lonnie Kavanagh at some point. Two guys I've been watching for literally like 6-7 years now. So the fact that they would be fighting for like a title eliminator or even for the belt itself would be absolutely sick. But flyweight division, I think Manel Kape slots in there nicely. I think Manel Kape would be the most entertaining flyweight champion in history as well. We don't really have too many trash talkers. We don't have many top... there's only been a couple of flyweight champions. Like, there's been Cejudo, there's been Demetrius Johnson, there's been Brandon Moreno, there's been Davison Figueiredo, there's been Alexandria Pantoja, and then there's been Joshua Van. Maybe I'm missing someone, but off the top of my head, that is all of the flyweight champions that I can think of. And I'm pretty sure with DJ's reign over the years and Cejudo taking the belt off him, that was kind of it. But bantamweight, this was the exception. The way Peter Yan fights... And remember the Llanos when he clicked his fingers and the whole crowd went silent? Shit like that, you don't need to speak. Because when you click your fingers and the crowd stops instantly, that says a lot more than people that are just going at the crowd and stuff like that. Man, okay. One of the most skilled fighters in the history of the UFC. One of the best strikers that we have ever witnessed in the sport. One of the most technically sound killers. People will never understand the 2021 Peter Yan. The 2021-2022 Peter Yan was something that has been, like, literally something that has been studied in generations. It is one of the best mythical fighters that we have ever seen in the entire UFC. 2022 Yan, 2021 Yan, before he fought Aljo the second time, Corey Sandhagen Yan, actually, was one of the greatest fighters I have ever seen. And if you don't believe me, you don't understand the level of savage that Peter Yan was on back then. And now he's still champion. Now, it's a bit of a shame that Jan's injured and things like that. And I do think he's going to fight Merab during the summer. I am more than happy to have Peter Yan as the champion. I was debating having Corey Sandhagen because I'm a massive Corey Sandhagen fan. And I think Sandhagen with the belt, we probably see a little bit more activity. But then again, I don't think Peter Yan is necessarily inactive throughout his career. Once we see Yan recover from injuries and things like that, that's when we're really going to see Yan get back in the mix, get back in the defending, get back against the Merab, the trilogy, and then we can see some fresh matchups. Him versus Umar would be an incredible fight. The O'Malley rematch is going to be there when O'Malley absolutely decimates Ayman Zahabi. Maybe even a Corey fight again, because the first fight was so good. The first fight was so entertaining. I would not be opposed to seeing a Corey rematch, although I think Umar and Sean and even the Merab trilogy have to come first, and Corey's going to fight Mario Batista in a close fight. That's a very close fight. I'm leaning Sandhagen, but the stage that Sandhagen is in his career, and Batista just beat Oliveira, you don't know what way that's going to fall. You don't know what way that's going to fall. But all in all, Peter Yan has actually been one of the most successful champions. Just as regards of fandom, as regards being able to just captivate people without even needing to speak. The fact that we are all looking forward to a Peter Yan fight week simply because of how technically gifted and sound this guy is exactly what I want as a champion. Although you need the Manel Capes, although you need the trash talkers, you need people that are just basically pure skill and still entertain. We haven't had a knockout in bantamweight in years. We haven't had a knockout in bantamweight in years. The whole time Merab was champion, it was boring. And I'm sick of pretending it wasn't. I don't care he submitted O'Malley. I don't care he had a second round against Corey Sandhagen. Look at the Jose Aldo fight. Look at the Peter Yan first fight. Look at the O'Malley first fight. I was on my knees praying O'Malley would chin him. We need knockouts in divisions, man. We need entertaining champions. We need people leading the front row as champions who are absolutely going to decimate people. Like Yan, like O'Malley, like Sandhagen. Although Sandhagen doesn't really knock people out anymore, unfortunately, because he was a little bit overrated in the power, but still. We need those people, bro. Just cage controlling and stalling and holding people down is so boring, man. And it ruined the best division in the sport for years, okay? Aljo had a little bit of a case over, but I think Aljo was much more of a personality that I could get behind, and at least he submitted Sandhagen because I know Merab submitted O'Malley, but still, beating Peter Yan in the way those guys did was impressive. There's absolutely no doubt, but Aljo did it in a lot more technical fashion of just bagpacking Yan and controlling him compared to Merab just failing the most takedowns in UFC history. And then when we had a fully recovered Yan who was actually skillful and able to go the 5 rounds, no problem, we saw the difference. But more than happy with Peter Yan at bantamweight. More than happy. Featherweight. Controversial one. Little bit of bias in here because he's one of my favorite fighters. But listen and hear me out. Yes, Volk is an incredible champion. Yes, Gene Silva is an incredible fighter. Yes, Diego Lopez is a great fighter. Yes, Movsar Evloev is a great fighter. I don't think their style is as crisp, followed by entertaining as Arnold Allen. I just think AAA has one of the best fight styles you will see. He has the best movement in the featherweight division at the moment. His hooks to the body are absolutely exceptional. His all-around boxing is incredible. He's got decent head movement. He was that close to beating Gene Silva. That fucking close. And it hurts, bro. It hurts to say that because he's never, unless like it's such a big matchup for Arnold next week. If he can put on a great performance against Milicia Costa, then I can get behind this because he was that close to beating Gene Silva. He was that close to beating Movsar Evloev. He was in and around the Holloway fight. Holloway was in control the whole fight, but Arnold Allen was in that fight as well. He's in the fight with a lot of these top guys, but I don't want you to be another Sandhagen. I don't want AAA to be another Sandhagen to where he's just good, but he's not good enough. Like, I'd hate that. I don't want that. And this Costa fight, there's a lot riding on it for me. This is a top 5 favorite fighter of all time for me. I've been watching him for a very long time. I've always been high on this guy's movement. I've always been high on this guy's speed, to the hooks to the body and things like that. It's just he doesn't fight. But we're getting active Arnold Allen. It's just turned May a couple of days ago, and he's already been in a fight and is having a main event next week. I think the Milicia Costa fight is tricky, but I'm going to go with my boy because it is a very close fight. Very tough fight. Milicia Costa striking. This is just a sick fight. I can't wait for this. It's going to be my first fight companion as well, by the way. But I think Triple A as champ is big. I think it brings in that European audience as well. We have an English, I would much rather an Irish UFC champion, but you know what I mean. If it brings fucking UFC back to Europe and it's not Serbia, it's just across the water from me because I'm from Ireland, I'll gladly catch a flight to fucking London. I've done it before and I'll do it again. I've gone to Qatar for UFC. Bring more events back to Europe is a massive win in my books. But he's also really autistic, which is really fucking funny. We all know how stupid he is. We all know how retarded him and Gene Silva was. But he's entertaining. Hooks, I'm telling you, bro, you look at Arnold Allen's hooks to the body. You look at the way he fights. You look at the entertaining style that he has. He's up there, man. He's up there. And I want Triple A to get this belt. But this Milicia Costa fight, it's worrying me, bro. It's worrying me. And but I'm going to go with my boy. I'm going to go with my boy next week. Arman Tsarukyan for the lightweight division. Now, I've had my critiques of Arman. I've seen Arman fight live in Qatar. Probably the most entertaining grappler in the sport right now as regards damage space. I know Oliveira submitted Mateus Gamrot, but like, when is the last time Oliveira got a submission win apart from Mateus Gamrot? Was it Gaethje? It could actually be Justin Gaethje. Off the top of my head, I think it might be Justin Gaethje. Let's actually have a wee gander here together. When is the last time, rear naked choke Mateus Gamrot, ground and pound and Beneil Dariush? Yeah, the last time he got a win with a submission was 2022. So the days of saying that Charles is so dangerous on the ground, I'm not denying that 1%, but he's not getting the elbows on top. He's not getting the Joel Alvarez level of ground and pound that Arman is getting. He's not getting the gator rolls that Tsarukyan is doing. Plus, let's not forget, Tsarukyan did out-grapple him at 300. He did out-grapple him and win that fight purely based on the grappling. Charles couldn't get him at anything. And Arman was doing massive ground and pound. Tsarukyan has the best ground and pound in the UFC, in my opinion. Maybe even in UFC history. If we're being real, best gator roller in the UFC. I think Tsarukyan's way of grappling, he's never looking to just kind of lay on you. And you can say what you want about the Oliveira fight. Tsarukyan nearly got caught up in a lot of things, especially in that triangle at the end of the second, the guillotine in the first. People don't understand. That's Tsarukyan putting himself in dangerous positions to try and advance and get in more advanced damaging position. That's why that happens. Why do you think Makhachev never gets caught in anything? Why do you think Khamzat never gets caught in anything? Why do you think Merab has never got caught in any submission? Maybe he did by Ricky Simon. I can't remember if he was submitted or knocked out, but still, over the last couple of years, these guys don't try and progress positions. They are more than happy to stay in the position that they're in. Tsarukyan is putting himself in dangerous positions to try get a more damage-based scoring system, top-heavy position. Because it is a damage-based scoring system, so he's trying to get a top position. A lot of these guys will gladly ride out rounds, but Tsarukyan has never really been one to do that. He knocked out Beneil Dariush. He finished Dan Hooker. He beat Charles Oliveira. He beat the fucking shit out of Joel Alvarez on the ground. That is a stacked win. And Tsarukyan, as regards a resume, is one of the best lightweights. I think he might have... Obviously, Charles probably has a better resume at the moment, even Gaethje. But he has an incredible resume in the lightweight division right now. Incredible resume. Dan Hooker win was exceptional. The amount of RAF promotion he's doing for himself outside the cage. You're telling me you wouldn't love Tsarukyan as champ. You're telling me you wouldn't love Tsarukyan as champ. Now, I have been critical about Arman's activity, especially the last 2 years, only fighting once, pulling out the day before against Makhachev. But he has always kind of been fighting regularly. He's never been like a Topuria, which is exactly the reason I want Arman over Topuria, is because Tsarukyan is more active. Ilya has never been active in his career. He's always been one to say, I beat Josh Emmett, I'm going to sit out and wait for my title shot against Volk. What did he do? He sat out and waited for his title shot against Volk. He's literally openly said, I would rather vacate the belt than give Tsarukyan the title shot. He hasn't fought in a year. I know there was legal proceedings. I'm not denying that. But still, don't act like Ilya is active. Because Ilya is not active at all. And that is the problem I have with Ilya Topuria. Incredible fighter. Same thing with Khamzat Chimaev, which is why he's not the middleweight champ in this scenario. It's funny who is. Which is why I'm not picking them. Because if I can't see you in that cage, you are no good to me as a champion. You're holding up division. And the thing is, The people complaining about the White House card, that there isn't enough championship fights, clearly don't watch the UFC. We barely get top-level championship fights. Never mind stacking them on one fucking card. That is a terrible idea, okay? The White House card is as good as it could be in some ways, as regards we have a sick main and co-main. O'Malley's on the card and things like that. Rufy versus Chandler was a great fight. If you just did O'Malley Sanhagen and then Colby versus Bo Nickel, the card would have been so much better. No one wanted to see John Jones and Conor McGregor, if we're just being completely honest with you. Pereira versus Gane excites me way more than Jones versus Alex. Such a fact. Would I have been hyped for Jones Alex? Yes, of course I would have been hyped for Jones Alex, because Alex probably would have beat him, if we're being honest. But Pereira versus Gane is unbelievable. It's an unbelievable fight. I'm getting a bit distracted there. Sarukian is one of the only fighters I see actively trying to promote himself outside of the UFC, which is why I like him so much. He's just so entertaining. He's starting fights at weigh-ins. He's starting fights on the way to the fucking event, throwing hands at fans. He's pulling out. There's always something. There's always something with Sarukian. But I just love how much he promotes himself, the shit stirring that he does, the amount of just stuff. He's on Aiden Ross's stream with Guru. There's always something with Armin. There's always fucking something with Armin. That's what I like about him. I'd be so happy if he was the lightweight champion, bro. I really would. But welterweight champion, how can it be anybody else but Carlito Blattes? Hey, Holmes, we're going to knock out JDM and then we're going to knock out Ian Gary too, man. We're going to cross the border and shit. Okay. Carlos Prates. More of a Mexican accent there. But, how could it be anybody else in the welterweight division? The same thing with Makhachev. If I saw these guys more, they would be number one. But I don't. That's the reality. Yes, my MMA preacher sign is slanted. It keeps falling down. How could it be anybody else apart from Carlos Prates? Watching the Jeff Neal, Leon Edwards, and JDM death row sentence that he's been stowing upon people the last couple of months. He is every single thing I like about MMA. He is every single thing I love about striking. Super humble guy as well. Like, how can't you like Carlos Prates? His striking style is unbelievable. And it is literally every single thing I love about MMA. He never puts anything to the judges. If he had actually thrown his hands against Ian Gary, he probably would have won. And if they fight now, he probably would beat Ian Gary. If we are being completely honest. Ian Gary gets hit by Bilal Muhammad a lot. When he got hit by Carlos Prates, he fucking shit his fucking pants and looked like he was a down for. He was literally crawling against the cage, bro. I don't know. I feel like Carlos Prates could beat Ian Gary in a rematch. If he goes out there and throws the amount of volume he did against JDM and really focuses on low kick, I would 100% be picking Carlos Prates to beat Ian Gary. But you have to say, I made a video titled this, just how good is Ian Gary? Just how good is Ian Gary to take on Carlos Prates on short notice? Absolutely style on him for 4.5 rounds and nearly get knocked out. How good is Ian Gary to do all that? How good is Ian Gary to make Shavkat Rakhmonov look human? That was one of the most retarded things I've ever heard, by the way, but still. Prates could beat Ian Gary 100%. I think he would beat Michael Morales. I think he would decimate Sean Brady. I think he would decimate Joaquin Buckley. And I think the knee up the middle is a serious problem for Islam Makhachev. That is something that is a serious fucking problem for Makhachev. If Carlos Prates lands that knee up the middle, fucking Makhachev is going down. I don't think Makhachev has the same chin as JDM. JDM's chin is Marvin Vettori level, bro. Do people not understand the amount of damage he was taking from Carlos Prates? Leon Edwards gets hit with a straight left, dead, decapitated, literally bodied in the fucking octagon. Jeff Neal gets hit with a spinning elbow. He is literally rendered unconscious, and some say he's not even woken up yet. Some say Jeff Neal is still sleeping. But JDM gets literally mauled by every single angle and every single punch that Carlos Prates has. He is literally still walking forward. But it got to a stage where JDM stopped throwing and was literally just absorbing punches. Because he was in Perth, if we're being real. If it was anywhere else, he would have got knocked out. It came down to the fact that he couldn't literally walk on his leg. That was one of the most one-sided beatdowns I've ever seen. That was like Moicano Saint Denis level of a beatdown. How can't you like Carlos Prates after that? What about Carlos Prates don't you like? What about Carlos Prates can't you get behind? He is every single thing I love about MMA. He has literally sparked something in me about MMA. I just can't wait to see the guy fight again. I really can't. That was one of the most clinical performances I have ever seen. And if we were getting that consistently as the welterweight champion, that is my dream. That is my dream. Title fights like that against like Michael Morales and things like that. Maybe even a Joaquin Buckley if he gets a few wins underneath his belt. That is the dream. Him versus Ian Gary in a rematch for the title. Huge. Huge, bro. If Makhachev vacates, if Makhachev loses, because you don't give Makhachev an immediate rematch if he wins, or if he loses to Ian Gary. He's never defended the welterweight title. This isn't lightweight. Lightweight, different story. Welterweight, no. No, you don't do an immediate rematch. I don't give a fuck if he's Islam Makhachev. We need to see this rematch first. If Ian Gary beats Islam Makhachev, no matter how it happens, whether it's a robbery, whether he clearly wins, we need to see Prates fight Ian Gary next. And I'm not even opposed. Maybe I'm bad because I'm Irish, not putting Ian Gary as champion, but Ian Gary's fucking boring in the cage. If we're being honest, Ian Gary's such a shit style. Like, it's so boring, it's so effective, but it's just terrible. I'm not mad at Ian Gary being champion because so just inject Carlos Prates as welterweight champion in my veins immediately, quick as possible, no hesitation. The next one, middleweight. What do we think? What do we think of Sean Strickland as the middleweight champion? Do I like the fact that we have Teeps and Jabs as the middleweight champion? No. Would I rather Khamzat Chimaev as a middleweight champion? Maybe, but I don't. The one thing I fucking hate about our beautiful sport, the greatest sport in the fucking world, is that inactivity is the core problem of everything about the UFC. It's the core problem of every single thing about the UFC, inactivity. And I truly believe that. I truly believe if we fixed activity and champions actually fought and contenders fought each other. Look at Mobzar versus Lerone Murphy. A number one contender fight. Take out the next man. Both undefeated. Both had their... both could have sat there and cried out for a title shot, but they didn't do it. They wanted to fight each other. If we had more shit like that, A, the UFC would just be so much better. So much better. And B, if you don't like the champion and you think Khamzat's a terrible champion, he's holding up the division and things like that, you think he's boring as fuck, the chances of them losing are quite high. They would be out of there quick. Look how long, I know Volk, Izzy and Usman, both, all them stayed on top for quite a long time. But can you remember how easily it was to get matchups made? Back when Volk was champ. Every 4 months, those guys were fighting around the clock. 4 months it was Volk, 4 months it was Izzy, 4 months it was Usman, and they were just repeating the cycle. Repeating. We don't get that anymore. We don't get that. The most active champion, I must say, Merab, as much as I hated his style, was very active. Sean Strickland is champion. Why would I like Sean Strickland as champion? I always like people that just pick up a mic and say whatever the fuck they want and don't give a shit what anybody thinks. Hence why I do this channel. I get a lot of hate. I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. I don't give a fuck if you disagree with my takes. Once we are all on the same page here of the UFC is the best sport in the world, and I know it's MMA, whatever the fuck you want to say. Once we're on the same page of we're only saying this because we're passionate about the UFC, I have no problem with what people say. As long as it's coming from a passionate place of they love the sport and they think this is how it should run, fine by me. If you're passionate, that's all I care about. Sean Strickland is passionate about his views. He's passionate about his ability to speak, and he really doesn't care. And I think that is great for a champion. He's generating so much hype. Even though I don't agree with everything Sean Strickland says, like, at all. I feel like Sean Strickland says a lot of good shit. But he's a shite talker as well. He's a spoofer. He waffles on about stuff that nobody asked. Excuse me. He waffles on and shite talks and brings up things nobody asked or no one really cares about, which is like cool, whatever, but like no one cares and nobody asked, and those people can annoy me as well, like especially when they go on rants about stuff that nobody asked for and they just continuously go on it even though the conversation wasn't even heading in that direction. Makes no sense. But I like Strickland. He is more active than Chimaev. He is a more personality than Chimaev. I think Chimaev is an incredible champion once he's fighting. Once Khamzat Chimaev is fighting, I always say I give him the benefit of the doubt. He needs to finish Strickland in this fight. If he doesn't finish Strickland, all the claims of he's boring and things like that will be proven true. And I've always been the one to say, hold on a minute. He had a boring fight against Kamaru Usman and Dricus. Apart from that, he's decimated or gotten him fight of the year candidates. He decimated Robert Whittaker. He decimated Lee Jinliang. He decimated Kevin Holland. And then he got in the fight of the year contender against Gilbert Burns. Then in a boring enough fight against Kamaru Usman. One of the best wrestlers of all time, by the way. And he'd never been taken down. And Khamzat just destroyed him for 5 minutes in the first round. And then he destroyed Dricus, who was a defending champion. One win away from being the greatest middleweight champion of all time. Just want to put that out there. I would love if Chimaev fought like every 4 months. I think that would save middleweight. I think that would be absolutely incredible. This is a big fight. This is a big fight at the weekend, and I cannot wait for it. But I think how base Sean Strickland is, and I think how much he says his mind and doesn't give a fuck, I think we need that in the UFC now more than ever. I don't want the UFC to become PG. I don't want that to happen at all. I'm a massive believer in free speech. And, people mightn't like that, but if we want free speech, that means letting every single thing people say slide. Just a fact. It's just not slide, but yes, words can have consequences, but no one should be able to not say what they believe. That's my opinion. But still, big fan of Sean Strickland. He won't get it done at the weekend, but let's hope it's a good fight. Light heavyweight. Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka fucked everything up. You gave us the most boring champion ever. Carlos Ulberg is so dry, man. Oh my fucking god. I'd rather watch Paint Ride than a Carlos Ulberg interview, bro. I never watched them. You let a former stripper in charge of the light heavyweight division, which Alex Pereira, John Jones, and DC once ruled. A former male stripper. Man, the City Kickboxing team are all fucking Madel Cape. Madel Cape. What Madel Cape said. What Madel Cape said. What the fuck is that about? What you know what I mean? You'd swear people from that gym who do shit like that they're doing, Dan Hooker, Izzy, and Carlos Ulberg, would be way better at wrestling. Am I the only one that thinks that? The activities those boys get up to in their spare time, you swear they would be better at wrestling, considering the amount of wrestling with men they do in training, I should say, but still. Yuri Prochazka would have been so good. I remember Yuri Prochazka's champ. It was so good, man. I just remember having Yuri as champ just made my life better. When Jan is champ, my life's better. When Yuri's champ, my life's better. Why did he have... Oh my god, I even watched it today. That left hook from... That hook from Ulberg was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. But Yuri, man, you were one hook kick away from beating him. You fucked it up so bad. You couldn't have fucked that up even worse. Even if you tried. Even if you went in there being like, right, let me fuck this up as badly as I can. You still wouldn't have done it. Oh my fucking god. It was painful to see. Painful. Fuck, man. I just love Yuri Prochazka. It did that hurt, bro. That hurt, man. This sport has left me hurt so many times, but that was pain, man. Because there's nothing I hate more than a boring champion. And oh my god, this time last year, I've said it before and I'll say it again, this time last year was the worst time to be a UFC fan. Without any shadow of a doubt. Any shadow of a doubt. We had no heavyweight champion, we had no lightweight champion, we had no featherweight champion. In March, we should say. But Carlos Ulberg's so shit, man, we needed Yuri to win. Entertaining, stoic, funny, great style, sellable. Fuck, man. But heavyweight. One of the rare ones I'm actually kind of happy with. Tom Aspinall. I just don't want Cyril. I'll put this kind of lightly. If Josh Hockett gets the belt, that's fine by me. As long as Cyril Gane never gets an undisputed world title, I'll be fine with that. I'll be perfectly fine with that. Tom Aspinall is one of my goats. Tom Aspinall is one of my favorite fighters. Tom Aspinall is one of the biggest G's that we have ever seen in the UFC. Ciryl Gane is one of the filthiest rodents that we've ever seen in the sport. And I hope Pereira absolutely blasts his fucking chin off into oblivion. Will he do that? I don't know. I might pick Ciryl Gane in that fight. I might pick Ciryl Gane with the striking dimensions. I don't know. I need to watch a little bit more tape. I've been watching a bit, and I actually have started to lean towards Gane. When I saw that fight first announced, I was like, oh shit, Gane might be in trouble here. Pereira might knock him out. But then I'm like, Gane's got a good chin. Gane's got a good chin. You know, Tuivasa dropped him and things like that. But still, I think Gane's fighting a lot stronger opponents his whole career. A lot of people that get in hard like Volkov and Tom and things like that. He's used to that kind of power threat coming forward. And I don't know if Pereira's going to have the same gas tank. I don't know if Pereira's going to have the same striking, especially with a butterfly like Ciryl Gane on the feet. But Tom is so good as a champion. Everything I like about MMA as well is Tom Aspinall. Humble. Quickest fight time in UFC history, I believe, or he was for a long time. Someone may have overtaken him now. I can't remember who it was. But still, one of the quickest fight times in UFC. Knockouts, submissions, taking fights on short notice, wants to be active. He's got his career tragically taken by that fucking scumbag fucking sniffing coke, hitting pregnant ladies, and blasting steroids up his fucking ass. I think Tom Aspinall is everything good about the UFC. I think Tom Aspinall is everything good about being a champion. And I hope, a part of me hopes Gane wins and Tom can just absolutely fucking obliterate his chin into oblivion. And Gane started piping up saying Tom's over-exaggerating and it's being dramatic and things like that. Listen, as long as I see Ciryl Gane get finished badly in an unconscious way, I'm kind of chill whoever does it. But as long as that happens, as long as Pereira or Tom leaves him unconscious and we never see Ciryl Gane in the UFC again because he's got too many title shots and he's like, fuck this, I'm never going to fight for the belt again, especially after a brutal fucking KO from Alex Pereira with a beautiful left hook, then I'm fine. But if Ciryl Gane cheats against Alex Pereira again, I genuinely think you cut him from the sport. You cannot be continuously cheating your whole career, ruining Tom's fucking eye. Man, it pisses me off. This scumbag. Please win, Tom. That's all I ask of you. It's all I ask of you is just to win this fucking fight against whoever it is. If Pereira beats Tom, that's fine. That's because I love Pereira. Okay, and I would rather Tom as champ over Pereira if I'm being honest with you. But still, I want the UFC to be great. I want the UFC to be amazing. I want the UFC to be every single thing it can and should be. The greatest fucking promotion, the greatest sport in the world. The good thing about the UFC over any other sport on the planet is that there's always new shit happening. It's always new matchups, always new events, always new stylistic fights, always new stars coming through. It's not the same fucking teams competing for the same fucking tournaments all the time. Okay? Now you say, well, they're fighting for the same belt. Get the fuck out of here. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. Who would you have as champ? And thanks for watching.